And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and jackets. Boost training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Residence. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Ukaipa, right off the freeway at Ukaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports story in the Empire. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. If you're watching us live and amplified on Wednesday night, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, we would appreciate it. We got a big show. In fact, maybe my favorite show of the season so far. A lot of high school football, as usual. In just a moment, we're going to hear from Vista del Lago head coach Mike Toohey. The Ravens are 5-0 going into Ivy League play. Big game coming up against Liberty. It's going to be an awesome one to kick off league action for the Ravens. We're also going to hear from Jeff Steinberg at Beaumont, Ken Batdorf at Norte Vista. We'll break down all the big games in Week 6, which is essentially the first week of league play for most of our local teams here in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. We're also going to have a sit-down interview between the Boost man, Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training, and Andy Wise, the head baseball coach for the Corona High School Panthers. Corona High School coming off a CIF Southern Section Division I championship and that mythical state and national championship as well. So the Boost man and Coach Wise will talk about the championship and also winning culture. What does it take to be the best? And also a very special interview. You don't want to miss this. It'll be in our second segment. Tiffany Mendez. She is a cross-country runner from Centennial High School. She's a junior. She's 16. And just 3 years ago, she had surgery to correct scoliosis, but she's on the cross-country team and doing very well for the Huskies, so you don't want to miss her inspiring story coming up in our second segment. But right now here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to lead off with some high school football. We just told you about Vista del Lago and their head coach Mike Toohey's coming up. But first, our Inland Sports Play of the Week. Vista del Lago was trailing by a score of 24-0 on the road at La Quinta, and the Ravens then outscored the Blackhawks 39-3 to win that game. 39-27 the final score. That was our big Boost Play of the Week as Vista del Lago storms back to win a battle of undefeated teams. La Quinta was 4-0. Vista del Lago was 4-0. La Quinta with a 24-point lead, but you can never count out the Ravens. That's our big Boost Play of the Week as they go to 5-0, and now they got Liberty coming up to kick off Ivy League play this week. Here is Ravens head coach Mike Toohey. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, fresh off a huge win on the road at La Quinta to stay undefeated on the season. It is the head coach of the Vista del Lago Ravens, Mike Toohey. And coach, listen, 5-0 has a nice ring to it, undefeated going into Ivy League play. But let's back up just for a moment and talk about that road victory at La Quinta. Because, and correct me if I've got some of the details wrong, but from what I heard, it was you guys were trailing 24-0, and then you outscored them. I think it was 39-3 to win 39-27. Is all that correct?
Yeah, that's right. We were down 24-0 with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. We finally got rolling a little bit on offense, went down, scored, held them to a field goal. They missed right before half, and so it's 24-7 going back into the second half. You know.
You've been around football for a long time. Have you ever seen the script flip like that so quickly in a game?
It's probably only happened once or twice since I've been coaching, but it happened to us back in 2019. And I think in the quarterfinals of the playoffs, we came back from 21-0 and won 24-21. But it was insane. It was a wild game, but all credit to La Quinta. They're a super tough team. But momentum in high school football is like no other.
So, I'm curious though. So, like you said, it was a 24-7 game at halftime, at least. What did you say? What did you say to the guys in the locker room at the break? Did you got a touchdown back? I mean, so obviously you felt like, okay, we're kind of in the game still right now. What did you tell them?
To be honest, normally I'm yelling and screaming a lot more when we're down that bad. But it was more just, all right, let's fight back into this. Let's stay the course. And I'm really proud of the kids. It was really all on the kids, just finding a way, believing. We came out, we onside kicked. Got that back. We go right down and score. Stop them again, go right down and score. It was a crazy game. And then at the end, we get another onside kick to ice it. And 2 onside kicks, an interception by a nose guard, and a forced fumble recovery by our middle backer. So all that happened in the second half. So
a lot of stuff you don't see every day.
No, you don't. But hey, you got to take them where you can get them, right?
And Coach, it's if you go out and you blow out another team and you get this easy win, in the long run, maybe that doesn't do a whole lot for your team going forward into a tough Ivy League or playoffs. Is it kind of good maybe to kind of go through that game before you see Liberty and before you see all these great teams in league play and CIF and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be battle tested, and we've really kind of made it harder on ourselves all year. Some situations, that last game, just the kids fighting and being resilient was huge, going into league. But we know we got our hands full with Liberty, and right after that, it's Rancho, OV, Paloma, and North. So it ain't getting no easier. So I'm glad we got some battle testing in us.
But really, like when you look at where you took over the program, and I know you guys had some success, and especially those CIF runs and some of those smaller divisions, to where you are right now. I mean, playing in the Ivy League, that's the top league in the Raincross Conference against some other teams that are, like long tradition. Well, not. Or Rancho Verde has a pretty good tradition, and Orange Vista's a reigning CIF champion. I mean, the Ivy League is tough. Is it exciting to see where the program's at right now and playing some pretty meaningful games the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a tough road, no doubt. In all respect to those guys, we know it's going to be a heck of a fight each week, week in and week out. But we got a good group of kids that's, like I said, they're willing to sacrifice and fight all the way to the end. So when you got a team like that, you can live with the results as long as you're fighting to the end.
Coach, I'm trying to remember, when you first took over the program, were you guys in the Mountain Valley League, or where were you at the time?
Yeah, I believe it was Mountain Valley, San Bernardino, Rubidoux.
Yeah, okay.
Pacific, Miller. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so this program's come a long ways, and if people are casual football fans and you don't know, in the Raincross Conference, there's 3 leagues, and the Ivy League is that top league, the best of the best, and that's where you guys are. You've got Liberty in that first game this coming week to open up league play. I know they've kind of stumbled the last couple of weeks, but Liberty, is still a tough team. What do you feel like you guys have to do on the Vista del Lago side to get a win on Friday?
Physicality, because I know they're going to bring it. So are we going to run and tackle and do and put our bodies in there and do all the things we got to do offensively? We're just so explosive when we're on. Between Dez and JoJo going off last week, I mean, threw 4 touchdowns in that second half to lead us, and it was an unbelievable performance. So we'll see. But I know Liberty's a tough test, and hopefully we're ready for them.
And Coach, you mentioned Des Woods, your quarterback. I mean, how have you seen him kind of grow up and improve and progress just over the course of this season so far through the first 5 games?
Yeah, he's done a great job, just leading, being a leader. And then between him and JoJo, like, we're going back and forth. Every couple of series we're rotating it, and Dez the week before was the hot hand, and then this week Joe was the hot hand. He threw 4 touchdowns. Dez did 4 a week ago. So I don't know. We don't really, we're kind of just going with the flow, and whoever's playing the best at that time is going to play. But both those guys have been unbelievable. I'm proud of both of them.
Yeah, we've got your highlights a couple times. I'm like, is it number 10? Is it number 5? Is it 5? Or is it like, who's in there?
So Dez is 5 and Joe is 10. But yeah, both is a job.
Have you, not to try to give away all your secrets, but have you thought about, like, how do I get these guys on the field at the same time? I mean, maybe they do the same thing and you don't need both of them on the field at the same time, but if they're playmakers, like, how do we make this work?
Yeah, we've talked about it. Coach Smith, he's got it all under control. He'll figure it out. He knows how to do it. Done a great job with it.
Coach, you're 5-0 right now, obviously undefeated through league play. What has impressed you the most through those 5 games so far this season of what you guys are doing?
I guess just finding a way, because like I said, we haven't made it easy on ourselves. Most of the time it's defensively, and I'm a defensive guy, so I take that stuff personal. Like against Valley View, we played a great game till the 4th quarter, and then the last 4 minutes we want to give up 14 points. So that was something that we held on, and we still found a way to win. The next week, Adelanto, we did a better job. It's still not good enough. Moval was a crosstown rival. It was a dogfight the whole way. I guess just finding a way has made me proud of all our guys, finding a way to just win all of them, even though we probably made it harder than it needed to be sometimes. But, like last week, we're getting our last Friday, we're getting our butts kicked, and now we got to, find a way to get back there. So it's been good, and I'm proud of those guys for fighting. I'll say that for sure.
So I asked you what you would tell the team at halftime during that La Quinta game. What did you say after the game? Like, I told you guys, don't stop believing.
Yeah, I just told them I was so proud of them for how they fought, because that's kind of been our benchmark at Vista del Lago. If regardless, you're going to know you were in a fight if you play us. And the guys really stepped up and showed heart and never quit, which makes you real proud as a coach.
Yeah, when I saw the scores coming in, I knew La Quinta, obviously they were 4-0. They're not bad. They beat Rancho Verde. So I'm like, okay, this is a decent La Quinta team. But I was like, 24-0. Like, oh, man, I thought, VDL was going to, make it closer, win this thing.
No, I'm not going to lie. They were kicking our teeth in the first 20 minutes, I'd say. And then, we found a way to go down and score, and some things went our way, and defense started stepping up, and offense, from then on, I think, scored on every possession. So it was, once our offense gets going, we're tough to beat.
Well, Coach, listen, I always appreciate talking to you. Congratulations on that wild win against La Quinta. And I know it's going to get real serious now as we get into Ivy League play. Big one against Liberty right out of the gate, one of the top games in our area. We're going to showcase it here on the Inland Sports Show. So, Coach, congrats on the 5-0 start, but I know there's still a lot of business to take care of in front of you, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it. And, we're looking forward to Ivy League. We'll see what we got.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's Vista del Lago head coach Mike Toohey here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thanks, Pep.
Inland Sports.
Man, oh man, Vista del Lago and Liberty both new to the Ivy League, but kicking things off against one another here in Week 6. We've got more high school football a little bit later in the show, but when we come back here, we're going to have our exclusive interview with Centennial cross-country runner Tiffany Mendez as she shares her story about being a cross-country athlete, but also having surgery for scoliosis just 3 years ago, and she's been running varsity cross country the last 2 years. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
Parents, you might be a little crazy and killing your kid's passion if you have them playing multiple sports all at once. We have seasons for a reason. Having a primary sport each season helps kids stay healthy, prevents burnout, and increases their focus. Look, it's okay to let your child chill out a couple nights out of the week and even focus on other hobbies outside of sports. But working harder ain't always smarter. Boost Man.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. If you're watching us live and amplified on Wednesday night, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. More high school football right around the corner. We're still going to hear from Jeff Steinberg at Beaumont, Ken Batdorf at Norte Vista. We also have a great exclusive interview with Andy Wise, the head baseball coach for the Corona Panthers, coming off a championship season. But first, we want to share the inspiring story of Centennial High School cross-country runner Tiffany Mendez. Now, just 3 years ago, when she was 13, she had surgery to correct scoliosis. And she has been running varsity cross-country the last 2 years and doing it very well. So when things got tough, Tiffany just got tougher. Here's her awesome story about running and talking about her health condition and just coming out on top and being an inspiration now for other kids, other individuals who might be going through something very similar. Here is Tiffany Mendez on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We talk a lot about Centennial, Centen football, a lot of basketball. We're talking cross country on this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We got Tiffany Mendez from the Huskies here on the show. And Tiffany, you have a great story. I want to share it, and hopefully you can share some of the details of how you became a cross country runner for the Huskies. So you have scoliosis. Kind of give us, or had scoliosis. Again, forgive me if I'm, messing this up, but kind of paint us a picture of your health history and how you got to this point where you decided, hey, despite that, I'm going to run and I'm going to do it very, very well.
Yes, thank you.
So just tell us about just your past a little bit. Tell us about you a little bit.
Okay, well, start growing up normal until I was discovered at 13 with scoliosis. That same year, I had to get surgery, 21 screws and 2 rods. And my journey throughout cross country started based off the fact that I couldn't do any regular sports that have momentum or any physical contact. So luckily I joined cross country and started enjoying it even more.
So I just have so many questions, and again, forgive me if some of these questions are stupid, but the 21 screws in your back, do you forget they're even there? Do they sometimes hurt? Maybe if you've had a long day of running, how does that work?
Yes, I sometimes forget that they're there only because I'm just living my life, moving on. But they do hurt sometimes after long runs or meets. They just kind of feel sore in a way. So yeah.
So Tiffany, you're 16 now. You had the surgery when you were 13, so that was 3 years ago. So did it take you about did it take you a couple years to maybe physically and maybe mentally as well? Like, hey, I can do this. I can go.
Yes.
I know you ran varsity last year. This is technically your second year with the Huskies running varsity cross country. But did it take you a while to physically and mentally like say, hey, I can do this. I can do anything.
Yeah. Well, obviously I have some difficulties to be like, I got to push myself. And luckily I just have that strength to push myself and continue to pushing the race and hopefully get under my times from last race.
This is no slight to, let's say, like golf, but you didn't pick like an easy sport. Of course, you had to do the one where you run miles and miles. What was the feedback like from your family and friends? Were they encouraging for you to go out and do cross country?
Yes, they're very supportive of everything I do. They just like obviously don't want me to get hurt again and end up back to the hospital. So since running is like very independent, it's like very like they're very supportive about that.
All right, so Tiffany, right now you're a junior, you're 16, you're in your second year of varsity cross country with Centennial. What do you enjoy about it the most?
I enjoy the team and the coaches having like my parents' support, and I enjoy running with the girls on the team. That's the best part.
What's it like running for Coach Jasmine Johnson?
Oh, she's a really amazing coach. She encourages me like to do my best and to know that I got it.
Obviously high school sports, you want to go out there, you want to win and,
Yes.
and be great. But a lot of it is just the camaraderie, right? About being on a team and the socialization of just being with your teammates. How fun is it just running cross country?
It's fun mainly because our team bonding is really close and we could relate to each other on many different topics outside of running.
So as a junior, I mean, are you glad you came out for cross country and are you excited, maybe for next season as well now?
Yes, I'm really excited for next season. Next season is like the season I'm looking forward to the most.
All right, so I got to ask you, how's the team? I know, the Big Eight's tough. I know Roosevelt Track and Field, they've had some really great teams in the past, but how are you guys looking right now in the Big Eight? Oh, Santiago's a powerhouse, so.
Yes. We're looking good. We're just obviously with more practice, I'm very confident in our team that we could hopefully get better times. And yeah.
So Tiffany, in a 3-mile race, you're right around 20 minutes. Have you gone sub? Have you gone under 20 minutes?
No, not yet. That's my next goal. All
right, that's a perfect segue into my next question was, did you have goals for yourself before the season began in terms of, is there a time, is there a mark that you wanted to hit and that would be like a successful season for you?
Yes, my new goal is 1945 and hopefully to like complete it or hopefully get medals. That's my goal this season.
All right, have you seen from the start of the year to where you are right now, have you seen your time shaving a couple seconds off here and there?
Yeah, I do. Every time I like beat my time, I get excited. Now I set like new goals for next races.
So you had your first Big 8 League meet, right, of the year. How did that go?
It went really well, just super hot. The course was tiring. The team was good.
And then you've got another one Saturday, not a league meet, but what's coming up on Saturday? Another one?
Yeah, I have another race on Saturday. It's in Huntington.
All right, very good. So Tiffany, also, when you're not at school or competing in cross country, you're helping kids with cancer.
Yes.
How did this come about? Why did you want to do this, and how did this first start for you?
It was like a very sensitive topic about how since I was in the hospital, I would like to help other kids too in the hospital. Luckily, me and my mom were doing some research and she found this program called Victoria Sports of Joy that volunteers in the hospital at Ronald McDonald Hospital in Los Angeles.
That's really cool. I mean, obviously you're giving back. How does that make you feel giving back like that?
It makes me feel good knowing that I can help others, even though if it's not the same like health condition, it's at least I'm giving back.
Mm-hmm. And how are you doing right now? Yeah, you feel pretty good. You feel strong and everything.
Yes,
other than maybe the aches and pains of being a cross country runner.
No, yeah, it feels good. I feel very proud of myself. Every practice, every race, it just like that feeling of finishing that race with a good time, with a medal, with my team, with my parents.
Yeah, what do your parents think about all this? They're over the moon, right? They're probably so excited for you to be.
Yes, they are. They show up to every race. Every race they have the opportunity to come to. They show up. Yeah, they're very supportive about it.
Have you thought about, well, maybe I should go out for tennis or something else. Or are you a cross country runner and that's what you do?
I would like to try other sports, but since I physically can't, I'd rather stick to running and not take those chances.
Do you do track and field? Like, did you do the distance races?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
For distance.
Okay. And Tiffany, like what do you think that your story, what do you think that kind of impact will have on other people, whether it's scoliosis or something else that they might be dealing with that, in terms of you didn't let that set you back. If you still wanted to go out and do something, you still found a way to go do that. What do you think, how can you inspire and maybe impact other people through that?
I hope that it inspires them knowing that just because they have something going on, even if it's like not health or outside of school things, that they could push through it and that they got it. Knowing that anything's possible.
I'm curious now because, after high school, what do you want to major in college? What do you want to be when you grow up, as they like to say?
I'm not too sure exact, but I want to go something in the medical field.
I kind of thought you were going to say that. That's why I was asking. Like, I feel like you want to be impactful. You want to find a way to give back. You want to find a way to help other people. So you feel like maybe going in the medical field, that would be a great way to do that. So maybe Dr. Mendez someday?
Someday.
Well, Tiffany, listen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. We need to talk more cross country here on the Inland Sports Show. And I know you have such an awesome story, an inspiring story. So I hope people listening will take away something from this and maybe, feel a little more, encouraged to go out maybe and be supportive to someone else, or encourage someone else to maybe step outside their comfort zone and do something that maybe seems hard, but it's still doable, right?
Yes.
Yes. How hard was it for you at first? Was it difficult at first?
It was very difficult because I had to get my momentum back. I had to use my body in different ways I wasn't used to. I had to get back to normal.
Did you ever at any point think, this isn't for me, this is too hard, this hurts, I'm not going to do this? Yes,
I do. I sometimes thought that, but I enjoyed the sport so much, especially the team.
That's awesome. Tiffany, you have such a great attitude, such a great spirit about you. Listen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Trying to go under 20. I think it's going to happen. 1945. We all heard it here. 1945 is the goal for Tiffany Mendez this season. So, Tiffany, congrats on the season so far. Thank you for sharing your story here on the Inland Sports Show.
Thank you.
Inland Sports.
Great job on the interview, Tiffany. Really awesome to share your story here and maybe inspire somebody else out there watching the Inland Sports Show tonight. When we come back here on the program, we got more high school football. We're going to hear from Coach Batdorf at Norte Vista, Coach Steinberg at Beaumont, and then after that, Andy Wise, the Corona baseball coach here on the Inland Sports Show. We will be right back.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kids Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire.
Parents, you might be a little crazy and killing your kid's passion if you have them playing multiple sports all at once. We have seasons for a reason. Having a primary sport each season helps kids stay healthy, prevents burnout, and increases their focus. Look, it's okay to let your child chill out a couple nights out of the week and even focus on other hobbies outside of sports. But working harder ain't always smarter. Boost Man.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Make sure you check out Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. They are the best. Dr. Marcus Paulson, best dude. He loves Disney. I'm a Disney nerd as well, and you're going to have a good time. He's going to treat you right, and you'll love his office. If you go check it out, Redlands, unbelievable. Victorian style on the outside, Disney on the inside, so you'll love it. Go check it out. That's Dr. Paulson in Redlands. All right, back to some more high school football here as we take a look at some of the big games in week number 6, which is essentially the start of league play, right, for most everybody. And every single game in the Big West is big, including this one. It's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game, Norco taking on Murrieta Valley. I feel like every game in the Big West is like a playoff game because playoff positioning will begin this week. You can't fall behind. There's too many good teams in the Big West. So this is a big one right out of the gate, Norco and Murrieta Valley. And we'll see if Norco can hang with a Murrieta Valley squad that has some pretty impressive wins under their belt already. Norco, though, coming on strong. They've picked up a couple of wins the last couple of times out, so could be interesting. Norco and Murrieta Valley, your Kin Sporting Goods must-see game from the land of the Big West, the Big West Conference Upper. Let's take a look at some of the other big games coming up in week number 6, and this game has major Citrus Belt League title implications. Beaumont hosting Cajon, and Beaumont is 4-1, Cajon is 4-1. And I know you can't crown a league champion in week 6, but this is pretty darn close between the Cowboys and the Cougars. It's going to be a big game. So is Citrus Valley and Yucaipa. So just like the Big West, these are some very meaningful games here in week number 6 in terms of the standings, playoff positioning, league title races. I mean, it starts now. Also in the Big West, Chaparral will take on Vista Murrieta in what feels like another playoff game. Patriot will take on Norta Vista. We'll see if the Warriors can do what nobody has done this year. That's be a mighty Novi team that we have number 10 in the Boost Top 25 we'll get to in just a moment. Tockwitz will take on San Jacinto, San Jack, the Jack, as they like to say. The team to beat in the Mountain Pass. Vista del Lago and Liberty. We talked to Coach Tui early on in the show. They're 5-0. They'll put their undefeated mark up against the Liberty Bison as they both play their first Ivy League game, both new to the Ivy League this season. And Hemet versus Riverside Poly, another important game. This one in the Sun Belt League in terms of crowning a Sun Belt League champion. Hemet, Riverside Poly, Hillcrest, Rancho Christian. I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out. Who am I leaving out? Valley View, Arlington, like they're all going to be in the mix. This is another big game in Sunbelt League play. All right, now let's go to the Boost Top 25. And as you take a look at the rankings, this is all I'm going to say. A lot of this has been hypothetical through non-league play, but very, very soon, we're going to let these guys decide on the field. If you don't like where your team is ranked, you think they should be higher, maybe you think a team out there should be lower. I don't know. They're going to play head-to-head. Murrieta Valley and Chaparral. Who's better? I don't know. We're going to find out. Chaparral against, Cajon. I'm sorry, Beaumont against Cajon. That's happening this week, right? We're going to see that one. Orange Vista, they're going to play Rancho Verde. Norco, they're going to play, pick a team. Vista Murrieta. All these teams are going to play head-to-head at one point or another, so the rankings will work themselves out. I will say Beaumont climbs to number 4. They deserve it. Beaumont beat San Jacinto. San Jacinto beat Cajon. There you go. That's how the rankings came together. Norta Vista checks in at number 10. They're 5-0. They earned it. They deserved it. They deserve to be in the top 10. They're that good. Norco just on the outside. They're 2-3. A win against Murrieta Valley or let's say even Vista Murrieta, that would catapult the Cougars into the top 10. So we're just waiting in the wings. Vista del Lago climbs all the way up to number 12. They're 5-0. Consider this. La Quinta beat Rancho Verde in a very close, low-scoring game. In fact, I think it was 13-6 was the final score. But Vista del Lago beat La Quinta 39-27. So that's why Vista del Lago is a little higher than Rancho Verde. But again, they're going to play head-to-head in Ivy League play. They'll play Orange Vista too, so we're going to find out. This will not be hypothetical. We're going to find out on the field very, very soon. Hemet moves up to number 16 at 5-0, followed by Summit and Ramona, who's also 5-0. Citrus Valley is the best 0-4 team you will find anywhere. I'd say in the whole country. I'll put that up against anybody. The Blackhawks are good. They just don't have any wins to show for it. We'll see if they can beat Ukaipa. If they can beat Ukaipa, who we have at number 14 right now, then yeah, Citrus Valley is better than what their record indicates. Murrieta Mesa, Great Oak. Again, teams better than probably a tough record or a tough schedule, which their record shows 1-4. Hillcrest, Roosevelt, Redlands checks into the top 25 for the first time this year. They hammered Riverside Poly on the Bears' homecoming, so we got to pay some respect to the Terriers. They're in at number 24. And Liberty, still in the top 25, but they've been sliding. We had them close to, I think they were maybe at number 11 or 12 somewhere, as high as 11 or 12 earlier this season, but they're still hanging on at number 25. They've got Vista del Lago. So again, two teams going head-to-head. If the Bison can beat the Ravens, then they're going to go up. Easy as that. We're going to decide this on the field. So that's the Boost Top 25 poll after Week 5 as we go into league play here in week number 6. We got Norte Vista in at number 10. They are 5-0. They are undefeated. Here is head coach Ken Batdorf sizing up his battle against the Patriot Warriors, and he says the game plan is simple. You got to stop Patriots star running back Josiah Felix.
Inland Sports.
Stopping Felix. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, one of the best backs in the county. He's big, he's physical, he's fast, he reads blocks incredibly well. Then on offense, we have to be able to control the ball. They play pretty good defense. We just have to run our offense and do the things right and not turn the ball over. If we do those things, we have a pretty good chance of winning.
And you like what you guys are doing right now, right?
For the most part. I mean, we got to do better. There's a lot of stuff that we haven't done yet. I've been saving for league, like a forward pass. But no, in all honesty, I think the biggest thing we have to do is, get into our sets, run them correctly, and then move on to a next set. I think we get too stagnant sometimes in the same set over and over and over and over again. And that's just something I have to work on.
Inland Sports.
The old ball coach, Ken Batdorf at Norte Vista. Quick plug, too. If you have not watched the Friday night pep rally from this past week on Riverside TV, go check it out. It was amazing. We had Centennial's Matt Logan, Coach Batdorf, and Jeff Steinberg from Beaumont all in studio together. It was amazing. More than 700 career victories between those three coaches. And we were talking about it. Amongst Inland Empire coaches, who has more than 200 career wins? I think Kurt Bruick at Citrus Valley is the only other coach in the IE with more than 200 career victories. So to have those three guys all together in the same room on the same show, unbelievable. So that's the Friday night pep rally on Riverside TV from this past week. So go check that out. When we come back here on the show, we're going to check in with Andy Wise, the head baseball coach for the Corona Panthers, talking with the Boost man Ray Bass about championship winning culture. What does it take to be the best? We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
Here are 3 tips for improved sleep for student athletes. Number 1, try not to perform any activities in your bedroom besides sleeping. This associates your bedroom with sleep. Number 2, only go to your bed when you're really sleepy and after a routine. This way, when you see your bed, you'll think of sleep. Number 3, if you can't sleep, get out of your bed or bedroom. This way, you can prevent your bed or bedroom from becoming a wakeful trigger. Sleep plays an important role in your development as a student and athlete. So if you want to play at your best, get some rest. Boost Man.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire.
Inland Sports.
But the Washington Commanders are now 3-1, and Jaden Daniels has emerged as the guy, the rookie in this year's class of the NFL draft, man. He continues to get it done. A huge blowout win on the road at the Arizona Cardinals, and Jaden was doing it again, dual threat, through the air and on the ground, man. Huge game against the Cards.
He looks absolutely incredible, and I mean, he's matching all kinds of records through his first 4 games, and his completion percentage is like 83%.
Yes.
It's absolutely insane, and it's not dink and dunk. He's throwing it downfield.
Yeah, and they're saying like through the first 4 games of the season to be at around 82, 83% completion percentage. I mean, we're talking about guys like, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, like some of the all-time greats. That's what his name is next to right now. So it's man, I'm so happy for him. It's just crazy he's having such a great start to his NFL career. Like I said, the Dodgers are the #1 seed in the National League. They'll get a first-round bye. They could potentially see the Padres in the second round if things line up that way, because they could if the Padres advance. And here's the final line on Shohei Ohtani: 54 home runs, 59 stolen bases, 130 RBI. He nearly had the triple crown because he just got beat out for the National League batting crown by Luis Arraez of the Padres. So he almost had a clean sweep. One of the greatest seasons we've ever seen, period, Patrick.
Yes, and even with the stolen bases, one of my favorite was where he wanted the double steal, and he pushed Austin Barnes to get 2 stolen bases because he wanted to get stolen bases, and Austin, the Riverside kid, pulled it off.
Austin Barnes, good on him, right? The Riverside Poly kid. So, yeah, so there you go. So Shohei Ohtani, historic season. Dodgers are the #1 seed.
Inland Sports.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. So if you like sports and you like rock music, check it out, KCAL 96.7 FM. Patrick in the morning, man. Big Seattle guy. Seahawks, Mariners. He loves his teams. All right, listen, the Boost Man, Ray Bass at Boost Performance Training. He is a man of the people. He is out and about. We've been going to different campuses, different schools, talking with different coaches from different sports. Our latest installment of the Gridiron Question, we paid a visit to Corona High School to check in with the champs, the Corona High School Panthers head baseball coach, Andy Wise, man. And great guy, great personality, super smart, but also super funny as well, man. He's a great way of getting his point across. So here is the Boost Man and Coach Wise breaking it down on this Gridiron Question from the Corona High School dugout. Let's go.
Thanks, Pep. You know, I feel that in sports, there's always talented players and there's talented teams, but there's not a lot of winning teams. Your program finished the season #1 in the country. You've consistently had a program that's not only top in the area, but top in the state of California. Tell me, how much has the culture you've built here attributed to that success?
I would like to think a good amount. I mean, of course, it's the kids, it's the players who win the games, and you got to get those, as you said, rolling in the right direction. Some talented kids, you want them pulling on the right cord, on the rope, the same direction, so on and so forth. I like to get, as you say, buy-in. I'm trying to hold them accountable through conversation, complete, precise communication, honesty, And back to the buy-in would be, I need them to bring, what can you bring as well? You know,
sure.
Some investment, I guess would be the word, on their end, where they are part of what we're doing and not just being told what we are doing, but they are part of what's going on. And of course, I'm the boss. I have a background, and any head coach is the boss, and, you know, and I have a pretty good background, and as you said, we've been on a pretty good run, and it's been a good while run, so I guess my word would be a little bit credible, but at the same time, it can't just be me. I'm not going to be the dictator. I say it all the time. I need you. I need your thoughts. I need your ideas. I need your creativity. I need to know what's working, because times have changed. I know we had some off-camera conversation about how just times have changed over the last several years due to, let's just, you know, the COVID situation and the time off and a bunch of different other things going on. But I need those kids to buy into what's going on and be absolutely part of it, as I said, with their investment.
Yeah.
Or I have a good chance of losing those kids in some way, shape, or form, because they're all being pulled in so many different directions.
Wow, and I appreciate you mentioning that. Such an interesting take, and we were talking about this a little bit ago. You know, so many, I feel like it's nowadays, today's culture, so many of the kids they're looking for a program, and it's like, what can you do for me? You know, and you're putting it out there. You're like, hey, it can't just be about what I can do for you, but what are you going to do? What are you going to bring to the table? And I feel like that perspective, it's so different, right?
Dude, I used to go with the JFK. You know, don't ask, but you know, seriously, I used to say that all the time. And now it really is. It is. Our product is out there. Like, it is what it is. I don't run just a super shop. It's not a one-stop shop, man. I'm allowing you to go do this, that, and whatever. I'm very secure with our program and what I teach. I call what I teach universal. I guess I'm fortunate. I'm very confident and comfortable enough of how I was taught and who I was taught by.
For sure.
So I'm very secure in what I'm throwing out there into the world, and was also lucky enough to continue to go on and play a little bit to where I got to hear and see other people's perspectives on how this game should be run. So this, if you want to hear it, Ray, what it really is this is my take on Dave Snow's Long Beach State baseball program and Don Sneddon's Santa Ana College baseball program. This is my interpretation of what I think it should be in this day and age.
I got you. I think it's pretty progressive. I really do. I mean, you know, to feel that, you know, hey, I'm gonna let the kids go out there. You know, they know what I'm about. You know, and then have them meet me halfway. I mean, that's just not something you hear from a lot of coaches, at least in my opinion. You know, being a part of the culture, I feel like it's very unique.
I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty secure in what I have been taught and how I teach. So I want my guys to go into the world.
I got you.
And I'll tell you what, if something, I tell them all the time, you are not going to be shocked by anything. You should be prepared for everything. And if you are, do me a favor, come back and tell me what time it is, so I can add that to my plate.
I like that. I like that.
I'm good with that. And I think another thing that we've done here pretty good is get rid of any eyewash. You know what I mean? As I said, this is my version of my old coaches' programs, and there was a couple things in those programs that we don't do here. The times have changed, and they have other opportunities and outside people that they get to do those things with. And I think being a well-cultured, well-rounded type of ball player and athlete in person, more important than anything, is awesome. I think it's great. So go send out. I call it universal. When I might say it in our terms, how we call it in our program, but I always say that's how it's called here and universally. And now outside of here, they call it this. So when you hear this, when you go play pro ball, you ain't gonna sound like some rookie, you know, that don't know what's time. You know, you're gonna know, you know, and here's why. So, and then we get to hear everybody else's. Yeah. So as we talk about it, we get to hear, we play a bunch of good programs. So we get to hear how they speak, what they're speaking on. So if we hear something foreign, we run it back in here and I say, hey, you know what they're talking about? And they're, oh, dang. You know, so I want them to be as well-rounded and well-versed in this game as possible, and getting outside help, I think, is beneficial.
That's cool. That's cool. And I love that, you know, when it comes to accountability, development that looks at these young men and larger than life aspects. I love that, you know what I mean? Because that's what sports should be about. That's what the game should be about. I'm going to take it back to culture. You know, I'm a strength coach, and so culture is really important to me. Anytime I'm talking to parents about culture, the definition I love to use is that culture is defined as the worst behavior that is allowed in your organization, right? And so in the context of sports, I think what that is it's a standard. You know, it's the standard that coaches are always trying to push their athletes to, to be at. And that standard is what defines the culture, So what I want to know is, what is the Corona Panthers baseball standard that you guys have here?
We want to leave here feeling good about ourselves, that we did all we could on a daily basis, that we've done everything we can. We can look in the mirror, we can go get a good breath before we go to sleep and start seeing what we're going to do the next day and start piecing that together. And if you're not, you're making an adjustment. This is a game of failure. This game, more than any other, is an absolute game of failure. So being able to deal with that failure is obviously a big deal, and it's the separator in a lot of things. There's a lot of other talented folks out there, but I think just how we manage ourselves and how we go about our business, I really think probably is the driver of the culture, and we have been flexible in it, and there's a quote or a phrase or however you want to call it, a title, I guess is the best way to say it. I'd say what you do not want to be here is the king of Corona. Because if you are the best player in Corona or one of the best players in Corona and you don't aspire to be bigger than this, then you ain't doing it right. Because there's way too much talent.
For sure.
I don't care what sport it is out here. If you're the best girls soccer player, you better than the city of Corona. No offense. It's a great city with an unbelievable amount of talent. Unbelievable amount of talent. So don't be the king of Corona. Get out of here, man.
I gotcha.
So and I'll call him that. If you ain't doing it right, that would be me clowning on somebody. Hey, king of Corona. People like, oh yeah, don't So that's the diss in our program. We calling somebody the king of Corona.
That's pretty cool.
It's not a compliment.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool because it's a larger than life approach. And I think you got to have that, to create a program that has excellence, because that standard of excellence, it equates to winning. So that's interesting, be bigger than Corona, be bigger than here. And I think it's been working for you guys.
I think so. It's a nice competition within, and we're ready to do this. So it seems to be going in a good way.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I think that the best programs, they play for something bigger. You're talking about, being bigger than Corona. That's what the best teams do. They take care of themselves, every individual, like you mentioned, and they're playing for a higher purpose. That equates to them coming together and playing for something higher. I think that's what you have built here, Coach. It's very special. I appreciate you.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
All right.
Always.
Yes.
Oh man, there was some gold in there with the Boost Man and Coach Wise. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. And, we've talked to Josh Giles at Centennial, Coach Wise at Corona Baseball. Next up, I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. I'm not trying to steal Ray's thunder here, but Kevin Watson, the Arlington boys soccer coach, he's up next. And we're hoping to have that video ready for next week's Inland Sports Show. Of course, Arlington was undefeated all the way up into the Open Division Championship game, and they lost to Mater Dei in a heartbreaker in the CIF Finals. But, he has built, the best program in the IE and one of the top programs in the entire state. So we're going to check in with Kevin Watson, get his philosophy on life and winning and championships and all that good stuff with the Boost Man. So that's Arlington head coach Kevin Watson. You are on deck. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. A big thanks to our guest tonight, Tiffany Mendez, Centennial Cross Country. Great, inspiring, powerful interview. Vista del Lago head football coach Mike Toohey. We also checked in with Coach Steinberg at Beaumont, Coach Batdorf at Norta Vista, and of course, Andy Wise at Corona High School, welcoming us into the Corona High School dugout for that very cool gridiron question with the Boost Man. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, we appreciate you tuning in. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. You can also find us on all social media platforms. We still do Facebook a little bit, but Instagram, Twitter, you can find us there for sure. And if you're a local business or organization and you would like to promote yourself here on this show, we would love to hear from you, man. We need support from the local community to keep this thing going. So hey, it works both ways. You support us, and we're going to support you in return. So hit us up. inlandsportshow@gmail.com is the email address, or just hit us with a DM on our social media accounts. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.